Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making uncooked chocolate biscuits. So this is actually a recipe that I used to make with my nan all the time, and I just want to say excuse the noise outside, it's because it's really hot today, so that's why the windows are open and there's a lot of noise. But yes, this is a recipe that I used to make with my nan all the time, but I can't see my nan at the moment because she has to social distance for my granddad. But I went out yesterday to Lidl and I got all of the ingredients which are just over there to make it, and I thought I would show you the recipe because I think you guys will love it too. It's called uncooked chocolate biscuit because there's no cooking involved, so it's a good thing you can make and eat not really straight away because you have to wait for it to sit in the fridge, but pretty like it's easier. You don't have to cook anything. It's like an easy recipe because if I can cook it, you can. So I don't normally do many cooking videos, but I thought I'd do a cooking video for you today because this recipe is really yummy and I think you guys will really like it because I do it all the time and I love it. So before we get started, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video if you like it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. Click the bell to get notified whenever I upload a video, and comment down below if you try this, and if you try it, follow my Instagram and tag me and I will share it onto my story and have a look to see what your guys look like. So this is kind of a tutorial, but it's kind of also like a kind of cook with me. So if you're making it at home, you're going to have to pause the video because I'm obviously not going to keep in the whole of me like melting the chocolate because that will take too long. But I am going to keep in some other bits, so you can cook with me but you have to pause it as well. So it's kind of a tutorial, kind of not. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The first thing I'm going to be showing is the ingredients. So you need 250 grams of digestive biscuits, 200 grams of milk chocolate, 50 grams of butter, and 3 tablespoons of golden syrup. These are some of the utensils / baking things that you're going to need for this recipe. So first thing that we have to do is measure out all of the ingredients. So to break up the chocolate, all I do is I break it inside the packet like this, because then that's easier when I open it to break it up more. So I just break it all the possible ways that it can go. So the ways that you normally would eat the pieces, like that. And then I do it to both of them. So now I've got both of them broken up, and I'm just going to get a rolling pin and just hit them a couple of times to make sure it's proper broken up. Any pieces like this didn't break, you can always break them at this stage and then put them inside the bowl with the butter. I'm going to get my syrup, which I nearly dropped, golden syrup, and put in 3 tablespoons. Comment down below if you guys agree. The lid gets stuck because of the syrup. So I'm just going to use my spoon. There we go. Guys, look how delicious. Oh, you can't even really see, but look how delicious it looks. Whoops. Okay, so I fixed the problem now, so I'm going to put my golden syrup in here. Maybe I shouldn't pick it up. But anyways guys, it did look delicious and it does taste delicious, so let's pick this up. Maybe I shouldn't pick it up. So let's pick this up. So I've got 1. It's quite hard to get it off the spoon. I might use a little spoon to get it off like this. So I'm just going to explain the next phase to you of what we're doing because I think it might not make that much sense. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to pretend this is on a hob. We're going to put the bowl over here and we're going to put hot water into here so that it melts without having to put it in the pan. I can keep it all in the bowl and it will all melt on here. And then we just got to keep stirring that until it all melts. So the reason that we actually put water in here is because it keeps, when you put this on here, it keeps it nice and warm. And the heat goes straight to the bottom of the bowl. This bowl is plastic, I think, so it's not a very good idea, but it doesn't stand there for that long, so I just use a plastic bowl and it was worked every other time. So as you can see in there, it's kind of starting to melt. I'm going to get my wooden spoon and start mixing it. So it might not mix very well, obviously, at first, but once it starts to melt, it'll get easier to mix. So I've got my second bowl, and whilst that is melting over there, you don't have to stir it all the time, you just keep going back and make sure you are stirring it so that it does keep melting. But we are going to grab our biscuits. Mine says tail all over it. Just wanted to say why. It's because I bought stuff yesterday, I didn't want anyone else in the family to eat it. So what we're going to do, so I've got 400 grams in here, I need 250, so I'm going to get my scales and measure that out. There we go, we've got 250 in here, and now I'm going to go stir the chocolate again. So you've got the chocolate, you've got to get your rolling pin, and now it's time to break up these biscuits. So just break them up like this. So you don't want to break them up too small. You want to break them all into pieces, different sizes, roughly around this size. So compared to a normal biscuit, it's like this size, so that's the kind of size you want to break them into. You can break them really, really small, but then when you cut them later, it'll be really crumbly. So I would say to do them not too small. So sorry about that, guys. My water kind of overboiled a bit, so make sure you don't put too much water in when you're doing the chocolate. So I've crunched up all my biscuits and they're all roughly this size, so let's keep mixing them around to make sure that they're all the size, because there's some which are a little bit too big, so you can just go in with your fingers and break them up if they're too big. So after you've done this, you just gotta wait for the chocolate and then we go on to the next stage. Okay, so I've just finished melting my chocolate and it should look like this, so it's kind of like a lighter version of chocolate. I can't put it down because it's obviously still hot, so I just have to hold it, but I'm going to pour it on top of my biscuit, so be careful because the bowl might be hot, so when you're doing this, make sure to be careful. So I'm just going to pour it in, and it smells delicious. Like, I could just eat it like this. If you want to, you can eat it like this and not freeze it, but it'd be very sickly and probably very bad for you. As well, this bit gets really tempting to eat because the chocolate with the biscuits all mixed together is so delicious. So now I'm just going to mix this in, making sure to mix it all in. Then you get a tray roughly around this size. It doesn't really matter how big. So then you just got to pour it in there, or place it in because it's not really liquid anymore, so you can't really pour it like this. And then you've just got to push it down to fill in the gaps. So my tray is a little bit too big, I think, for this, because I want it to be really close together so that it tastes really good. So yeah, you just gotta press it down into the gaps and make sure that there's no gaps in between the chocolates. So I'm just going to show it from this angle. So this is what it looks like. Obviously, as you know, I didn't fill up the whole area, but that's just because it tastes better when it's all squished and it's less crumbly. So this is what it looks like before the fridge, and then after the fridge, all we have to do is cut it and lick the bowl and spoon. Okay, so now that I've put it in the fridge, I'm not too sure how long to wait. You just gotta wait until it's nice and cold and the chocolate has set. So whilst I wait for that to be done, I'm going to lick my spoon and bowl. This is one of the best bits of this. Comment down below if I've made you hungry from this video. So guys, this is it just taken out of the fridge. I'm not too sure how long it's been, but it's basically you just gotta wait for it to set and then it should be done. So it should just be hard, and like if it crumbles a bit, you probably put it in for a little bit longer, but mine is done, so now I'm going to get to cutting it. So all you have to do is cut however big you want, but what I do is I cut it down there, and then in half, so you have little chocolate bar kind of shapes.